Jai Shri Radhe. Today is day 173, Varta 155. Sub Vaishnav Jai Shri Krishna. The story of a merchant and a Brahmin who removed a door from a goddess temple. Bhav Prakash. The merchant is a devotee of Rajasi disposition. In the eternal Leela, his name is Rasaveshini. Rasaveshini has three Sakhis: Sarasasini, Prakasini, and Vilasini. Sarasasini was born as the wife of the merchant, and Prakasini and Vilasini were born as the Brahmin and his wife. Rasaveshini manifests from Sugandhini and is thus a form of her divine loving sentiment. Part 1. Once Sri Gosaiji travelled to Dwarka for the holy site of Sri Ranjorlalji. On the way he came to the merchant's village and set up camp there. The merchant caught sight of Sri Gosaiji and saw him as a direct manifestation of the Supreme Lord himself. He and his wife took initiation into his shelter with the Lord's name and Brahma Sambandh. They requested Sri Gosaiji to grant them one Sri Thakurji to serve, and he did so. They began to make regular seva. There were other Vaishnavas in that village, and the couple started going to their satsang group to listen to divine discourse. The merchant became very affectionate towards the Vaishnavas. If any Vaishnava came to their home, he would insist on their partaking of Mahaprasad and would only eat after having thus shared the prasad. If none came, they would not eat until the Lord had taken rest at night. If any Vaishnava came there unexpectedly, out of seva time, they would immediately cook, make offerings to their sacred texts, and then feed them Mahaprasad. They would do this even if the visitor arrived in the middle of the night. One day it rained, and all of their wood and dried cow dung fuel got soaked. Late into the night, some Vaishnavas arrived there. The merchant told his wife to bathe and cook for them. She told him that it would be difficult because all the fuel was soaked. She told him he would have to go and fetch some dry wood. He said, "Where can I get dry wood at this time of night?" "Anyway, please do bathe and get the ingredients ready. Be ready, I am going out." He tucked an axe under his arm and left the village. There was a goddess temple which had two wooden doors. The merchant Vaishnava opened the lock, lifted off one of the doors, broke it up, made a bundle of it and brought it home. He gave it to his wife. She asked, "Where did you get this dry wood from at this time of night?" He replied, "I removed one door from the goddess's temple, broke it up and carried it here. Please do not tell anyone this." She continued with the cooking, made the offerings and fed the Mahaprasad to the Vaishnavas. They then all sat and discussed and sang about the Lord's pastimes. He made up beds for them and let them take rest. In this way the merchant Vaishnava was able to manifest his very compassionate attitude, like that of a parent, to Vaishnavas. In the morning the husband and wife bathed into seva and completed their Sri Thakurji's services through the early morning, adornment and lunchtime periods. Mangala Shringar or Rajbhog. After the offerings had been accepted back as prasad and the Rajbhog Aarti had been performed, they fed the Vaishnavas and then partook of prasad themselves. A little later, when the Vaishnavas had to take their leave, the merchant accompanied them for a short way on their journey. Part 2. Next door to them lived a Brahmin couple. They were worshippers of the goddess. One day soon thereafter, the Brahmin's wife asked the merchant's wife, "All your wood and cow dung fuel has been soaked in the rain, so how did you manage to do your cooking?" The merchant's wife said, My husband took off one of the doors to the goddess temple and brought it home to burn as fuel." The Brahmini said, "That goddess is a living deity and very powerful. Did she not say anything to you?" The merchant's wife said, "No, she did not." The Vaishnav lady then bathed and went into seva. That Brahmin preferred to take his 2 regular daily meals when they were hot, and would not eat cold food. It was evening when he came home. His wife said, "If you bring me some dry wood, I shall do the cooking." He said, "It's already dark. From where would you like me to bring dry wood?" His wife piped up, "Yesterday our neighbour took one of the doors off the goddess's temple to use. There is one left. Bring it home. Then I will be able to do the cooking." The Brahmin said, "But the goddess will get angry." The wife said, "The goddess is poor. She will not say anything. She is forgiving towards us. Please go and quickly bring the wood." The Brahmin went off with his axe and went to the door of the goddess's temple. He struck it one blow with the axe. The axe got lodged into the door. The Brahmin's hand got stuck to the handle of the axe. He tried with all his strength, but he could not release his hand nor the axe. He began to curse his fate, thinking, "The goddess is angry with me because I came here to do what my wife has told me to do." A few hours passed. His wife thought to herself, "A few hours have passed and he is still not back. I should go and find out what has happened." She arrived at the temple and saw him lying distraught on the ground. She said, "Oh, did you fall asleep asleep while you were cutting the wood. The Brahmin said, stupid wench, I am being punished for my very bad deed which I had done at your behest. The goddess is now angry with me, and my hand is stuck here. The wife said, I will get you out. She tried to release him, but her hands also got stuck. They tried everything but could not release themselves. The two of them began to pray to the goddess, asking for her help. The goddess spoke out, look at you. You came here to steal my door. I will never release your hands. The wife said, if you will not let us go, we will die of hunger. You will be responsible for our deaths. The goddess said, well, you will have to go and have my new doors prepared for this, my temple, and you will also have to promise me to deliver 2 large bundles of dry wood to that merchant's house every day. The Brahmin said that he would do exactly as she instructed, but, O mother, please release our hands from this bondage. The goddess said, I will certainly let you go when I have made sure you are properly mocked for what you have done. Then no one will try to do this again hereafter. Morning broke, people came there from the village, even the king came. All of them started to laugh, saying, they came here to steal the goddess's door. Someone took the first door and the goddess did nothing. Today these two came here to take away the second door and see what happened to them. The wife spoke, please let my husband go. But her prayers were not answered. The goddess exerted her power, and the Brahmin was mocked in this way for the whole day. They had to keep quiet and listen to it with their heads held down. Everybody said exactly what came into their mind. When night finally came, all the people left, and the Brahmin again pleaded with the goddess to let him go. But she said again, you will have to arrange for new doors to my temple and promise to regularly deliver 2 bundles of dry wood to the Vaishnavas. If you do not, I will cut off your heads with my sword. The Brahmin was frightened. His hands were released, and he went home. He had the doors to the goddess's temple replaced and delivered the wood to the Vaishnavas every day. He did this for many days. Then the Vaishnavas told the Brahmin, our house is now full of wood. We have nowhere left to put any more. Please do not bring any more. The Brahmin implored him, but if I do not deliver the wood to you, the goddess will have my head cut off. The Vaishnava told him, the trouble is you imitated our actions. This is the reason for all of this difficulty. From this you must understand the power of our Guru Sri Gosaiji. The Brahmin requested them to help him to become a disciple of Sri Gosaiji and a Vaishnava. The Vaishnavas advised them to go both to Gokul and be initiated by Sri Gosaiji with the Lord's name and Brahma Sambandh, and then to return. He also advised them to bring Sri Thakurji into their home to serve. The Brahmin said, but that goddess will not refrain from pursuing me. The merchant Vaishnava told him not to worry, that he would go and console the goddess. The Vaishnava approached the goddess and said, look, we have enough wood already. Please forgive the Brahmin's obligations now. She replied, in future you promise not to touch my doors. The Vaishnava gave his word never to touch the doors again and told her that the Brahmin was to become a Vaishnava. 2. She said, in that case, I shall not say anything to him again. The merchant Vaishnava went back to the Brahmin and told him, the goddess will not now say anything to you. Therefore, please go to proceed to Gokul and get initiated by Sri Gosaiji. After that, go on a tour of Vraja and have the holy site of Sri Govardhanaji. Go then again to Sri Gosaiji and ask him to grant you Sri Thakurji's Seva. Then only return home here. The Brahmin couple proceeded to Gokul and had an audience with Sri Gosaiji. He said, you are a goddess worshipper, therefore you will have to fast for a day, bathe in Sri Yamunaji and wear new clothes before coming back here. They did all of these and stood before Sri Gosaiji, who showered his grace and initiated both of them. They asked his permission to go on a tour of Vraja and have the holy site of Sri Govardhanaji. They subsequently returned to their guru and asked him for his instructions. Sri Gosaiji advised them to now make the Seva of the Lord, and he granted them a prasadi garment from the Lord. They said to Sri Gosaiji, we know nothing about serving the Lord. Sri Gosaiji said that the merchant Vaishnava would show them everything. They took leave of their guru and returned home. The merchant Vaishnava was very pleased to see them, to greet them with the Lord's name. Afterwards, he taught them all the ways of Seva. The Brahmin couple then proceeded to make lovely Seva and also to nicely serve Vaishnavas. They respectfully fed Mahaprasad to each and any Vaishnava who came to their home. They conducted divine discourses and satsangas every evening. It was through the association of the merchant Vaishnava couple that the two Brahmins also became very good Vaishnavas. Bhav Prakash. The moral of this story is that a Vaishnava should always respectfully and carefully serve any Vaishnava who comes to their house. It also demonstrates that Vaishnavas are very superior, for they are always fearless and have no doubts. Demigods and goddesses are all afraid of them. Thus concludes Varta 155, the story of the merchant and the Brahmin Vaishnavas who are the recipients of Sri Gosaiji's great grace and accomplished Vaishnavas. There is no end to their tale. Aaj ke Anand ki jai, sab Vaishnavan ko jai Shri Krishna, jai jai Shri Radhe.